what's everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Silverstreak. Before we take a look at them, let's take a look at the packaging. So of course, this is kind of a mixture of Legacy and Buzzworthy Bumblebee. So of course, we have a nice Legacy artwork of Silverstreak in his car mode, but we have a lot of Buzzworthy Bumblebee designs over here. We have RC, Mirage, Bumblebee, got Optimus down there. We have Silverstreak, we got Buzzworthy Bumblebee, we have Transformers on the side, of course, an open window with no plastic. Nice artwork there of Silverstreak in his robot mode, of course, more of that Legacy artwork, which looks pretty cool. And on the back, more of the Buzzworthy Bumblebee design. We have two shots, one of the car, one of the robot. He transforms into 15 steps. That's pretty much it for the packaging, so now let's get into the review. And now let's take a look at the details of this really cool looking car mode. So starting at the very front with the hood section, so there's some nice silverish gray looking very good. Nice red for that out symbol. Of course, some nice grayish black for the headlights. Some nice black and blue for the grille section. Going to the side, of course, all four wheels are mushroom peg, and unfortunately, they don't look very good, but they are done in black. Not too bad. And of course, for the main color of the car, it's really just this nice dark blue. You can actually make out a nice door handle there. And of course, for the windows, they're mostly done in this nice dark gray. You can see through there. There's a little bit of kibble, but it doesn't look too bad. Going to the back, of course, there's this nice racing fin there. That looks pretty good. Red for the backlights, and of course, 4 exhaust pipes. And there's this nice black there. And of course, the same details repeated on the other side. And going to the top, there's this nice back window done in gray. Not looking too bad. So overall, a very simple looking race car, but actually looks very, very cool. Now to storage. It comes with 3 accessories. One really cool blaster, which is done in white. This is the exact same blaster that's come with the other 3 versions of this mold, so nothing crazy. You can plug this one on top just like that. And it does come with 2 side cannons. These will typically stored near the shoulders in the robot mode. Very simple. And of course, these were also included with Smokescreen and Barricade, not with Prowl. Overall, that looks pretty cool. I do like how they're white because they do break up all the dark colors of the gray, the silver, and the blue. So I do like how there's a pop of brightness to it. So that looks pretty good. I do apologize if it kind of disappears with my white background. Hopefully, it doesn't do that. But overall, that looks pretty cool. If you wanted to, of course, you could plug some blaster pieces into the ends of these barrels and have a really cool battle, explosion effect. And there is one other way you can store the accessories. So if you get all 3 of them, of course, there is these pegs, and there is a port on the little pistol. You can just plug this in. This is really usually just for robot mode for them to hold, but you could still use this for vehicle mode if you wanted to. So of course, you can plug that on top like that. And there we have the triple-barreled blaster, which looks pretty cool, and I think that will definitely pack a punch. So overall, that looks quite nice. So that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Let's move on to some comparisons. Now for a quick comparison, here we have Silverstreak and Smokescreen. I think by far my favorite deco for the vehicle modes is definitely Smokescreen. I really like the race car effect it has. Of course, the nice racing stripes, the 80, it looks really, really cool. My main complaint is, of course, the mushroom peg wheels. I really don't like how the blue pretty much highlights how there is a mushroom peg, but overall, the vehicle mode looks really, really cool. In the comment section down below, which one is your favorite race car or alt mode, and which one is your favorite robot mode of these Earthrise Prowl molds? Definitely my favorite robot mode. It has to be Silverstreak. He's a really cool one. We'll get to that, of course, after transformation. But 2 very cool looking cars. As you can see, sculpt wise, they're the exact same thing. And of course, I also have several more comparisons whenever he's transformed. So 2 really cool looking cars, and of course, size wise, pretty much the same thing. And of course, they do come with the exact same accessories, the 1 gun, and of course, the 2 little pistols, which can store the exact same way. So we're all 2 really cool looking cars. I think that's pretty much it for comparisons. Let's now get into transformation. Now let's get into transformation. So what you're going to want to do is get the doors here. Just bring these out like that. There we go. And then what we can do is go to the bottom and we can get the arms, move these up and then out just like this. There we go. And then what you're going to want to do is just push in. This whole assembly will just move up like that. And there we go. And then what you're going to want to do is get the legs, open this whole assembly. And as you can see, these sections here were kind of fitted into that whole section right there. And you're going to want to unfold this just like that. And then you can rotate at the waist and then kind of bring this out more. You can then go back here, disconnect the legs just like this. As you can see, there's these little white panels. You can move these down. These are really supposed to fill in the gaps, but of course, they don't do a very good job at that. And then there's these little white pieces right here. These are the heel spurs to really help it stand. Bring these down. They're very tight. There we go. And then what you're going to want to do is just kind of stand them up just like this. We can then also raise up the camera and zoom it out a little bit, then what we can do is collapse this whole section like this. You can then rotate the arms like that. Bring this whole assembly. You're going to want to make sure to have these tabs past that door. So now you have that. Of course, there is a tab and there is a slot on the inside of the arm, so that will just tab right into place just like that. So of course, same thing on the other side. There is a tab and there is a slot on the inside of the arm that will just tab into place. And there we have Silverstreak pretty much in his robot mode, just straightening him up a little bit. Overall, pretty simple transformation, of course, the exact same as Barricade, Prowl, and all the other versions of this mold. Very simple and pretty straightforward. Let's now take a look at the details of the robot mode. Here we have Silverstreak in his robot mode. Let's take a look at the details. So we're going to start at the very top with this amazing looking head sculpt with some nice yellow for the horns there, of course some main blue for the main helmet section, some silver for the face. I do like that nice blue for the eyes, and of course for the chin, the nose, and the mouth, all is silver. For the doors here, of course, that nice dark blue, that looks pretty good. If you want to angle those back, you can. For the arms here, some nice dark blue, some white and black for the forearms, and of course more white for the hands. For the main chest, of course, this is really the front of the car, which looks really good. Nice silver there, auto symbol. Headlights there done in blackish gray, and of course that main grill section is mostly blue and black. Looks pretty good. For the main crotch and stomach, that's really white and black, looking pretty good. For the legs, some nice white there, some nice gray, some more blue, some nice red there at the toes. I really do like how you can see the exhaust pipes at the very bottom of the feet. That actually looks pretty cool. And of course, getting to the back, it actually cleans up quite nicely. Unfortunately, there is some holes there. I know people have a big problem with that, and of course, we're used to it by now because this is the 4th version of this mold. So, no surprise there. Overall, a really good looking figure in my opinion. Actually, my favorite deco of all the versions of this mold in the robot mode. My favorite deco of the car is, of course, Smokescreen, as I said before. So overall, a very good looking figure. Let's now get into articulation. So now for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so of course it can look up, down, and all the way around. The door can move back and forth. For the arm, if you just move this out, it can move out that far. And of course in, all the way around. And of course there is a very, very tight swivel here, elbow joints, and of course there is some hand rotation. For the waist, there is a full 360 rotation. For the legs, full splits. And of course, they can kick forward and back. And of course, there is a knee bend, a swivel, and an ankle pivot. So overall, pretty standard articulation for a deluxe. Unfortunately, the arms do have a trouble of actually staying in place. Of course, there's that tab and slot that I showed you during transformation. Typically, that unfortunately does come undone just at random times. So I wish that was a little bit tighter, but actually that was the case for all the versions of this mold. But overall, pretty good articulation, standard for deluxe. Let's now move into the accessories and, of course, some comparisons. So now for the accessories, of course, I did show them earlier very quickly. So, of course, he does come with 2 of these little pistols, which you can store near his shoulders. Very plain whites, but look pretty good. So you can just plug these in. And, of course, we can get the other one. Plug that in as well. And that creates a pretty cool looking battle effect there. And of course we have the blaster, which you can just plug into his hands just like that. There we go. And I think he is definitely battle ready. Looks pretty cool. I do apologize if the weapons kind of disappear because I do have a white background, but overall that looks pretty cool in my opinion. Very nice. And of course, if you want to, you can get all 3, just wiggling this out of his hands, taking the weapons off. You can plug them together to make one big weapon. So of course there's a peg, a ports. We just plug all these 3 together like this. He can then hold this big combined weapon, and he can blast at the Decepticons, and I think he will definitely win that battle. So overall, very cool weapons. Maybe they could have had a little bit more interesting colors. I do like how it is white, because of course to break up all the dark colors, but they could have probably put some red on there. But overall, pretty good accessories. Same of course as the other versions, Smokescreen and Barricade and Prowl. Let's now get into some comparisons. So now for some comparisons here, we have Silverstreak and Prowl. So pretty much the exact same figure, of course, the arms, the legs, and the accessories exactly the same. The only mold change I would say is the chest or torso region. As you can see, the front of the car is slightly different from Prowl's. It's a little bit bigger. Is the exact same as Smokescreens and Barricades. So I will bring out Smokescreen in just a second for comparison. But as you can see, the head sculpt is exactly the same, just painted slightly different. Unfortunately, I do see that Prowl is a little bit blurred out because he is all white, so I do apologize about that. But overall, two very good looking figures. Probably my favorite deco is Silverstreak right here. Let me just take Prowl off to the side, and I can bring out Smokescreen. So as you can see here, the main change is the head sculpt, of course. The front little chest car piece is exactly the same sculpt, of course, just different deco. But the head sculpt here is slightly different. It is a little bit bigger on Smokescreen right here. The chin and the face is slightly different, but they both do, of course, still share that horn design. And overall, that looks pretty good in my opinion. Of course, same accessories, arms, legs, and everything else, pretty much exactly the same. Set profile. Overall, two pretty good figures. Again, my favorite probably is Silverstreak right here, but Smokescreen car is a really, really good one. Definitely my favorite deco. So that's pretty much it for mold comparisons. Let's get into some legacy comparisons. Now for some quick legacy comparisons. Here we have Silverstreak with skids. Here he is with drag strip. Here he is with RC. And last but not least, Kickback. So yeah, pretty cool looking figure with the other legacy figures. And of course I do hope they make some more Buzzworthy figures. Apparently we're supposed to be getting another 4-pack like the World's Collide pack, so I'm really looking forward to that. Let's now move on to the final. So now let's get into the final thoughts, starting in the robot mode. I think overall it's a pretty good robot mode, of course. Articulation, pretty standard for deluxe. Accessories, overall, pretty simple, of course. Exactly the same things that come with Barricade, Prowl, and Smokescreen. I do wish maybe there was a little bit more color. They could have added some red on there. I think that'd be pretty cool, but overall, very, very nice. Of course, you can get all 3 weapons and combine them together to make one big blaster, which I think is pretty cool and creative. Overall, I do wish, of course, maybe they could have had some areas of the joints a little bit tighter. The connection between the torso and the arms is very loose, which was exactly how all the other figures were, so I wish maybe you had some improvement there, but no. But there is some areas which I think did improve slightly, just slightly, but the head sculpt looks pretty good. Transformation, very, very simple. Of course, exactly the same as the other version of this mold. Car mode, I think, looks really, really cool. My only complaint I would say is, unfortunately, they are mushroom pig wheels, but, you know, all of them are, so it's not the biggest complaint, I would say. But I do wish probably they just stop using those, but I think it probably is a cheap way out than using the other wheels they use for their figures. But overall, pretty good figure. Of course, nothing too, you know, crazy or new, just slight changes in mold, of course, between the head sculpt and the chest with other figures, of course. With Prowl, it is the chest. With Smokescreen, it's the head sculpt, so each mold has something a little bit unique. Overall, probably this figure is my favorite deco for the robot mode, and of course, my favorite deco for the car mode is Smokescreen. In the comment section down below, which one is your favorite version of these molds? Of course, there's 4. There's Prowl, Silverstreak, Smokescreen, and Barricade now. And I don't think they need to make any more. But let me know which one is your favorite in the comment section down below. And of course, will you be getting all 4, or do you already have all 4, or are you just going to stick with maybe 1 or 2? Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you next time.